a lot of folks.
We are.
We're going to continue with our meeting. I want to thank everybody for their patience, seeing that we seated a new board member. I wanted to provide him an opportunity when he took his seat to understand, at least to his best ability, what was going to occur here for the last part of the meeting. I thought that only fair, so I appreciate that. Moving on to the meeting notice and communications, there are no notices or communications. Citizens participation, it's my understanding, Dave, there are none. Thank you. That moves us to our first action item, which are routine approvals. Subject 6.1, Human Resources Recommendations. On the routine approvals, do I have a motion to approve the routine approvals? Ms. Pratt, do I have a second? Second. Any questions? Roll call. Kathleen?
Yes.
Amy Beth?
Yes.
Al?
Yes.
Timon?
Yes.
Michael? Yes. Tim?
Yes.
Mr. Hewitt?
Yes.
And I vote yes. I'm sorry, I could have called you by your first name. I didn't. The next item for board action is 7.1, is the 2020 to 2021 school calendar.
So moved. Second.
Questions? Tim?
Yes.
Mike? Yes. Timon?
Yes.
Al?
Yes.
Amy Beth?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Alex?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Informational items you'll see under number 8 are listed there. I will just briefly, before I turn it over to whoever else would like to comment, indicate that we did hold a building and finance, during the building and finance committee meeting, we had a presentation from Wayne related to items that you should receive that are on your desk, and also an attachment in email for consideration as they move into the next action item at the following meeting. So if there would be any questions related to any of the 3 informational items, now would be the time to ask.
Right, and then just a reminder, the capital plan's a 5-year plan. So what we're seeing with this was last year's year 2, so everything gets moved up a year. And we thank Mr. Crosby and his team for putting that document together, for keeping all the balls in the air. So thanks.
I do have a question. So we have 3 items. If we had a specific item in the capital improvement program in the packet that was handed out, if we had a specific question in regards to one of those items specifically, could we discuss it again in committee, or would the next meeting be to vote and accept it?
Well, you can discuss it this meeting and next meeting before the vote. It can be discussed at both. It can be discussed at both meetings. So if there's a question, Wayne's here to answer them this evening if you'd like to ask.
It would also be appropriate to email a question if you have a specific item into Dr. Farron's office or to Wayne if you want an answer. And our practice has been when a board member asks a question and of the administration, then the answer goes back to all the boards, so the board in its entirety knows of the question and the answer.
Yeah, either way.
And to make this run smooth, and I apologize, I just thought of this. I'm actually going to go 8.1, which is the Lincoln Intermediate Unit, number 12 budget. You can see in your agenda, would there be any questions related to that informational item this evening by any of the board members that they would like to voice publicly?
Kenny, I don't have a question, but I have an observation, something I was pleased to see. I noticed that the district contribution in the proposed budget is at an 18-year low, with our 2021 contribution over $8,000 in a decrease from last year. So I just wanted to comment on that. I was happy to see that.
It's very good.
Brent, just a follow-up to that, is the reason that has been reduced overall because they can charge specifically for services? Or
Their term is entrepreneurial
Yeah.
programs. So in some respects, it's shifting, but the good piece is that this part of their budget is allocated based on a formula, regardless of how much you as an individual district use those services. They're shifting that over so that those districts who use more of their services pay more of the costs.
Thank you.
The next item, 8.2 capital improvement program. Would any of the board members have any specific questions related to that informational item that you would like to address publicly tonight? 8.3 policy 006.1 attendance at meetings via electronic communications. If you recall, that's the item earmarked that we discussed last time. Any questions from the board relating to that particular policy change?
Not a question, but just a comment. As policy committee chair, we did take that up at our last policy committee meeting, and we bantered back and forth on a few of the suggestions there. What we came up with is somewhat general wording, but that is by design to give our board president a lot of flexibility and to give the school board a lot of flexibility in that regard as well. But we did consider the suggestions that were made to us.
8.4 is policy 233, suspension and expulsion. Any board members have any specific questions they'd like to address publicly?
Not a question, but also a comment as policy committee chair. Dr. Parent, correct me if I'm wrong on this. This is a mandate that is coming down with a slight adjustment. I forget what page exactly. I have that in my notes somewhere, but
Sections.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think the section's bolded.
Yes, sections bolded, and the mandated starting age and ending age for public school education in Pennsylvania is being modified and cleared up and so on. And that will start next fall with the 2020-21 school year. And we may have a little bit more to say about that next school board meeting.
Right, so this is one of many policies that we need change, just to make sure that the ages are 6 to 18, not 8 to 17 as they currently are. So the board will see over the next several months a number of policies, just changing that one thing on several policies to make sure that we're complying with law.
Board committee reports.
Actually, you know what, I have a suggestion that would make it easier for us when we're reviewing policies before we vote on them. Can we highlight what's changed, or put it in a different color ink, or something to draw our attention to what the actual revision is while we're looking at this? Because I spent a lot of time reviewing this policy, now happily I find out it's just an age change. So is there a way to do that?
Can you guys use Microsoft Word? You could do change tracking in some or document.
We've been talking about that issue at our policy committee meeting and so on, and board docs for some reason does make it a little bit more of a challenge, but certainly that's something we can take up and see what we can do. So I'll work with Jane and Dr. Parent on that.
Thank you.
It's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
And I apologize. Anything additional under informational items before we move forward? All right, board committee reports. I'll start out real quickly before I turn it over to Dr. Perrin. The business and our building grounds and finance committee had a meeting this past week where we had we got a small sample of the audit to show where our district's at from our fiscal year, the year before. The audit in full, at least the presentation to the board, is scheduled for the February 3rd board meeting, where they'll present to the board as a whole a more detailed report as to where we're at with our finances and also what trends they were able to identify, signify would help us as we move forward in our budget process. In the second part of the committee meeting, Wayne gave a presentation and a handout. I believe everybody should have a handout as to what he's asking the board to move forward on in terms of various equipments and some ground repair, from water intrusion to electrical lines to tractors to a vehicle. So if anybody would have any questions moving between now and an action item at the next meeting, I encourage you to contact Dr. Perrin or Mr. Crosby to get your individual questions answered, unless, while Mr. Crosby's here this evening, if you have a specific question on that handout that he gave to you, feel free, he'd be more than happy to answer that this evening, correct?
If you just email it to me, I'll work with Mr. Crosby to get ready a response. Thank you.
And the other thing I would ask is that's a full board response so that we all can be enlightened to whatever question. That's why sometimes I like to hear it here, because I get to hear the answer that I need. So, Jason?
And back on the audit piece, I thank Tom and Brad, Tom and their staff, because the good news up front is that it was a very clean audit, and they continue to do a great job with the auditors and getting. They spend lots of weeks in our conference room. I don't know how long it is, Brad. It's several months. I've seen them more than my family.
So do I.
They do a nice job, and they were very complimentary of our business office, so I wanted to give credit where credit's due on that. Program reports, Dr. Lake.
Good evening. So we just finished our our first semester, second marking period. So it's hard to believe we're actually halfway through our instructional year and getting ready for our ESL testing, which is the WIDA access testing, where we check students who are identifying receiving services for their English language proficiency development and reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So we have approximately 5 weeks testing window for those assessments, and the ESL teachers work on that at their own pace with their students. So that'll be starting this week. Thank you.
Dr. Lay, off the top of your head, do you know how many students we have that are identified needing ESL services, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, approximately 100 students.
Is that right? Thank you.
About, yeah.
Franklin Township was just designated a Title I distinguished school, which is great news for the hard work of that faculty. So congratulations to everybody, including the parents, team effort, parents, faculty, principals, students. So congratulations to everybody.
And a team of teachers and Dr. Lappy will be attending the Title I Improving Schools Conference in Pittsburgh next week to receive their award.
And then we got word that I passed on to the board recently that the state Pennsylvania Department of Education has approved Adams County Technical Institute as a single entity. We will, the goal is obviously to continue the offerings that are positive for kids currently, and to grow those offerings over the next several years in areas that align with student interest, ability, and the ability to make a livable wage when they exit. So we'll continue with those efforts, but so it's going to take a while to shift that in my head. Went from Adams County Tech Prep to Adams County Technical Institute is the new name, the new acronym. So it's exciting times for that. And also, this is board member appreciation month. You know that?
Did not know that. So
certainly, along with the 4 folks that put themselves out there this evening, appreciate the folks that I get to work with, that represent the community. Certainly, the volunteerism that's part of a school board member goes well beyond these Monday night meetings. Lots of committee meetings, lots of other evenings involved, and just appreciate the dedication to student programming and doing the best we can for kids within our ability to do so. Thanks to all of you. I do have certificates that we want to pass out. Here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tim and Lynn. Thanks. So on behalf of the kids, thanks for the work that you all did.
Thank you. The next board meeting will be February 3rd, 2020, starting at 7 o'clock. Is any board member have anything for the good of the order before we ask for an adjournment? I have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank you.